Let's recall all the chapters in English that we have seen so far. Remember this? Who came out of it? The genie. And what did he say? I want to help you. And then he gave us a golden rule. What was that golden rule? It was about do and does. When do we use do? I, we, they, you, do. He, she, it does. Right? Now let's revise the first lesson. Grandma's glasses. Who are these people? That's Aji, the grandmother, mother, father, Veena, and Madhav. Aji was reading a newspaper in the drawing room as she woke up early. Then, while leaving for the picnic, she suddenly realized that her glasses are missing. So then the whole family, each member of the family, tried to find the glasses. Mother went to look in the balcony. Father went to look into the kitchen. Veena went to look into Aji's room. And Madhav tried to see under the chair. And then finally Madhav found Aji's glasses on her head. And the whole family laughed and Grandma hugged both the children and they started going for the picnic. Then the second one was a poem, Try to Lick Your Elbow. It is written by Ken Nesbitt and he talks about which are all our body parts which cannot be touched with the elbow. Let's go through the poem. Your elbow's pretty hard to reach, although it's awfully near. Pretty hard means very difficult. Awfully means very, very near. Just try to lick your elbow or to put it in your ear. You cannot reach your elbow with your shoulder or your nose. It's practically impossible to touch it with your toes. Practically impossible means in reality it is not possible. Your elbow won't go near your neck, your forehead or your eyes. If you could touch it to your spine, I think you would win a prize. Spine means backbone. The poet says that if you could touch your elbow to your backbone, then you probably would win a prize because it is something not possible. I tried to lick my elbow once and I came pretty close, as you can see in the picture. But then I stopped and realized means understood, like, oh no, that's gross. Gross means dirty. So this was our second poem. Lesson 3, Too Big, Too Small. Here we saw the story of Shanu. She was wondering, she was confused whether she is big or small? Shanu is too small for the following things. She is too small for walking to the school alone. She is too small to carry the baby to the park. She is too small to make dosas on the stove. And she is too small to carry the baby on her back. Shanu is too big for these things. Shanu is too big for her ummi to lift her up like a baby. She is too big to sleep in the baby's cot. She is too big to wear her old pink frock. And she is too big to sit on Dadu's back. Shanu is small enough for her Abbu to carry her on his shoulders and for Dadi to tell stories to. Shanu is big enough for going to a big school and for taking Dadu for a walk. And she's the perfect size, and she'll always be the perfect size for a warm family hug. So this was all about lesson 3, too big, too small. Next is poem for my bicycle. I have a bicycle, I pedal and ride. The bell goes tinkle, tinkle, all move aside. When the road is narrow, cars, buses turn back. My cycle moves like an arrow, stays on track. The traffic jam frightens the trucks, jeeps and cars. My cycle goes zigzag and takes me very far. It jumps over a bump, it ducks under a bush, and if there is a puddle, my cycle goes whoosh. Lesson 5. I want that one. There are various events that happen. Let us start with things that happen at home. At home, Amma was reading a book because it was a holiday. But Anil wanted to do something. So he told his Amma that I want to see what is there in the blue box. Amma said, later, Anil. But he did not listen. He took a stool, he stood on it and tried taking the blue box. That time Amma told him, don't do that. If you take the blue box, all the other boxes in the pile will all fall on our heads. Now Anil got angry, and because he was very angry, Amma decided to take him to the market. Now once they reached the market, what all things happened at the market? Firstly, they went to the fruit seller. Anil wanted an orange from the bottom of the pile, for which the fruit seller said, no, don't touch it. All my other fruits will fall down. Then he went to the shopkeeper of a bookstore and said, I want that one. The shopkeeper said, No, no, not that one. You take this one instead. Then he went to the samosa wala. It was again the shopkeeper selling samosas. He pointed at a samosa from the bottom of the pile, and the shopkeeper again said, "No, don't do that. Otherwise, all my other samosas will fall to the ground." Lastly, as his mood was getting bad and worse, he went to the flower seller. He pointed towards a flower, and the flower seller said, "No, no, don't touch it. Otherwise, all my other flowers will wilt." Wilt means to dry up. At last, what happened? Anil was very angry because everybody was telling him no, 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 no for everything. He never got what he wanted. So he was crying. He started crying so loudly that people in the market started looking at him. Then suddenly Amma said, "I want that one, that black one," looking at a pile of puppies. That time Anil said, "No, Amma, not that one. Let's take this one." And he picked up a brown puppy from the top of the pile. Then he told his mother, "Amma, I'm very angry with you. The other puppies would have fallen down had you taken the black one." Now Amma smiled, and Anil also smiled because he had understood why everybody was telling him no, why he could not get what he wanted. So, this was our story from the 5th chapter. With this, I sign off for today. Happy learning!